Russia's top general is telling dictator Putin a story of victories that do not exist. Valery Gerasimov, chief of the Russian General Staff, claimed this week that Moscow's forces are advancing on almost every front in Ukraine. He spoke of fierce battles near Pokrovsk and suggested Russia was gaining ground in Donetsk, Zaporizhia, Dnipro and Kharkiv regions. But those reports are at odds with reality. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told Sky News that Russia's last 3 offensives have all failed and that Ukrainian forces expect 2 more attempts soon. Kyiv's army says it has repelled attacks around Pokrovsk, while independent analysts have tracked Ukrainian gains nearby. On the Kupiansk axis, Ukraine reported that a Russian assault ended not with a progress, but with multiple Russian soldiers being taken prisoner. The picture is clear. While Gerasimov delivers upbeat briefings to the Kremlin, the evidence on the ground points the other way. Moscow is inflating successes for political effect, while its troops face heavy losses and stalled offensives. Zapad 2025 drills show Russia is not seeking peace. The European Union says it was closely monitoring the joint Russian-Belarusian military exercises Zapad 2025 and sees them as proof that Moscow has no real interest in peace. A statement from the EU's foreign policy chief stressed that against the backdrop of Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine and repeated drone incursion into member states' airspace, such drills cannot be seen as de-escalation. Brussels also voiced concern over the participation of other countries and reminded Moscow and Minsk of their obligations under the OSCE's 2011 Vienna document. The EU said it remained vigilant to any potential security threats linked to Zapad 2025. Poland has kicked off its largest military drills of the year, bringing together more than 30,000 troops from the Polish armed forces and NATO allies. The exercise, known as Iron Defender 25, is unfolding throughout September on training grounds in Orchish and other areas close to the country's northern eastern border. The Polish General Staff describes it as the most important training event of the year, testing coordination across land, air, sea, cyberspace, and special operations. Nearly 600 units of heavy equipment, including tanks, artillery, armed vehicles, and aircraft, have been deployed. Officials emphasize the drills are defensive, but the timing is no coincidence. They run parallel to Russia and Belarus Zapad 2025 war games. The maneuvers are meant to underline NATO's readiness on its eastern flank as Moscow's war in Ukraine drags on.
The goal I set was related to the Zapad exercise. It was to maintain our preparedness to respond in the event that, like the previous Zapad exercise, it could escalate into various provocations that could compromise our security. We don't want our defensive war to look like Ukraine's, and we don't want to achieve similar results. We must win this war at the lowest possible cost. That's why we're modeling this fight differently.
Denmark will acquire long-range precision weapons as part of the efforts to strengthen its defense against Russia. Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen said Moscow will remain a threat to Europe and Denmark for many years. Defense Minister Troy Lund Poulsen confirmed the plans could cover missiles and drones capable of striking targets deep inside enemy territory, though he did not disclose specific systems or costs. Officials argue the war in Ukraine has shown the importance of being able to conduct deep strikes and maintain layered air defense. Russia's ambassador to Copenhagen, Vladimir Barbin, dismissed the move as madness and accused Denmark of threatening a nuclear power. Frederiksen responded that Russia is trying to intimidate Europe and NATO, but Denmark will not be deterred. King Charles III voiced support for Ukraine. Speaking at a state banquet in Windsor Castle, the British monarch voiced his backing for Ukraine in the presence of the US President Donald Trump, the First Lady, and the senior American officials. The monarch warned that a tyranny is once again threatening Europe and said that the UK and its allies must stand united with Ukraine to deter aggression and safeguard peace. His words were met with a nod from President Trump.
Our countries have the closest defense, security and intelligence relationship ever known. In 2 world wars, we fought together to defeat the forces of tyranny. Today, as tyranny once again threatens Europe, we and our allies stand together in support of Ukraine to deter aggression and secure peace. And our AUKUS submarine partnership with Australia sets the benchmark for innovative and vital collaboration.
Ukrainian children in London have created a silk scarf for US First Lady Melania Trump, which will be presented during the state visit to the United Kingdom. The scarf, titled "We Can Dream Again," was designed by pupils of St. Mary's Ukrainian School together with artist Maria Dicolo. Its images reflect children's dreams of being reunited with their families, homes and pets, a poignant reminder of the suffering caused by Russia's full-scale war. The gift also carries a message of gratitude for Melania Trump's public appeal to Kremlin dictator Putin, in which she urged him to end the war for the sake of Ukraine's children. The scarf was produced by London-based Aspinall and is meant as both an artwork and a symbol of resilience. Giant golden Donald Trump statue holding Bitcoin unveiled in Washington, D.C. A 12-foot, 3.5-meter golden statue of U.S. President has appeared outside the Capitol. The figure shows him holding a Bitcoin, a deliberate nod to his support for cryptocurrencies. The project was financed by crypto investors and meme coin enthusiasts who say they wanted to highlight the growing role of digital finance in politics. The statue has divided opinion, seen by supporters as a bold symbol of crypto's influence, but by critics as a political theater with little real impact. That's all for now. For more content, please subscribe.